Just finished speaking in Tehran, where Sir Richard Dalton is a fellow at Chatham House, a former ambassador to Iran. He joins us here in the studio, along with Dr. Sara Bazoobandi, who is also at Chatham House. Both of you watching these events so closely today. But could I first start with you? We are talking about big things today. People are saying this is a landmark deal, an historic deal. Is that how you see it?
Yes, I do, for a number of reasons. First, it puts a seal on a 12-year endeavour to find a way in which Iran can allay the concerns of the international community about the possible misuse of its nuclear programme. It allows a page to be turned for Iran to be able to trade once more with the international community and gradually to mend its relations, I hope, with its Arab neighbours to the west and also with the United States. That will be a slow process, but it can now start.
Sara, we've had 35 years of deep mistrust between Iran and the US particularly. Do you agree? Do you think now we are going to see a sort of seismic shift in those relations?
Absolutely. The taboo of directly negotiating with the American officials at the ministerial level, it was something that nobody could have seen it so easily being broken by the Rouhani's administration and by the support of the Supreme Leader. Because let's remember that none of this would have happened if it wasn't for the support of the Supreme Leader. So for the fact that the Supreme Leader has also shifted his position against direct negotiations with the United States and with the West is quite a big shift, I think, in the future of the international cooperation and Iran's role, if you like, within the region and in relations with the world powers.
What's the part of the deal, if there was one, that worries you, though, Sir Richard? Is it perhaps the inspections element of it, which is so crucial?
First, I should say that this deal is a gain for the security of the world and the security of the Middle East. There was no better deal out there which United States and its partners could have secured using additional leverage or military pressures. This is as good as it gets to provide 10 to 15 years of severe limitation on what Iran can do, together with transparency and monitoring to the gold standard, and incidentally, as a bonus, a cherry on the cake for the GCC and Israel, maintenance of 5 years general arms embargo on Iran and 8 years arms embargo on anything to do with missiles.
So what do you say to Benjamin Netanyahu, who's come straight out and said this is an historic mistake?
He exaggerates the risk from Iran. Iran's denial of the right of the State of Israel to exist is reprehensible, but Israel has a strong right arm. It has dominance in the nuclear and conventional military spheres over Iran, and Iran is a rational actor and is not going to threaten Israel militarily using its nuclear enrichment capability, which it is retaining for strictly civil purposes. The inspection component has been worked out with great care to ensure that Iran cannot prevent entry into military sites if the international community can show that there is genuine reason to suspect potential misuse of nuclear material.
Because, Sara, what was the concern that Iran had about inspections, particularly with military sites?
As you heard time and again, it was one of the key components of Iranian position in relation with the nuclear crisis over the past more than 1 decade was the issue of national pride. That is a big element. The fact that the Iranian senior military officials came out before these negotiations and they made it quite clear that we are not going to allow certain types of inspections, I think was for domestic purposes, specifically to maintain the national pride. That's one big element. And the other element, I think, given this situation within the region, given the history of 8 years of war with Iraq, given what is happening at the moment in other neighboring countries, and that deep sense of distrust within the Arab nations and Arab neighbors of Iran, Iran to a very great extent still feels fairly insecure, and opening up most of the military sites will indeed make Iran feel more insecure than it already is, and that was one of the reasons that they were insisting on that.
I wanted to ask you both what you feel this will mean for people in Iran today. I've just seen that all of the networks, television networks, took the address of President Obama today, which surely hasn't happened for many, many years. How do you think people's lives are going to change in Iran after this deal?
The deal will take several months to implement, and lifting sanctions will be phased. So it will be some time before Iran's public finances are mended and before new contracts for investment have been undertaken. So for benefits to trickle through to Iranian people in terms of their living standards will take time. But they have hope now. Confidence will increase, and that is vital for the development of the private sector in Iran. So they will be rejoicing.
Sara, what do you think? Because it's not just about those economic benefits, is it, as well? It's about how they see the rest of the world and how they feel the rest of the world sees them.
Absolutely. Well, the Iranian nation have been waiting for this for a very long time, and the psychological impact that today this deal has is a lot bigger than the physical, tangible impact on their day-to-day lives. We need to remember that the Iranian population is a fairly young, outward-looking, fairly liberated population, fairly well-educated population, who wanted for a very long time to be a part of the global community. And now I think this deal is a window, a great window of opportunity for the Iranian people to feel that they have the chance to becoming a part of the global community.
Thank you both very much for joining us here on GMT.